we've spent a lot of time talking about just possibilities and what's still at stake. I know what the seating situation is, but so I'm not asking you to like break it down, but I guess I'm wondering, do you understand just everything that could still happen and where you could end up for the Big 12 tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we have an idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that can happen in the last two games, and the biggest thing is you control yourself first of all, and if you play well and win a couple games, and you have a better idea where you're going to be. But I think the number one thing is we still have a lot of things that are in play, and we're going through a lot of scenarios planning for next week. Obviously, Coach Carr's busy, but we'll see where it ends up.
I know seeding's always important when it comes to the Big 12 tournament, but given the openness of just how this race has been, like, is getting a prominent one seem as important as ever, I guess?
Yeah, I think for me, it's for so long you just wanted to stay out of the 4-5 game because you didn't want to see Baylor until you absolutely had to. Obviously, Texas is playing at a really high level, but I don't know that there's any team that you'd be like, oh, we have to stay away from them, because if you look at our schedule, we've split with almost everyone. So it's like, who do you want to play or who do you not want to play? So I think when you go to the Big 12 tournament, it'll be like one of those situations where it's like an NCAA tournament. The quarterfinal games are going to be like first or second round NCAA tournament games, which it should be in this league, and that's good. So I think it just comes down to maybe there's a matchup you feel a little more comfortable with for whatever reason, but I don't think there's anything that you'd be like, oh my gosh, we really want to finish here to avoid something. I don't know that really fits this year like it has in the past.
What have you seen out of Kansas recently?
They played really well yesterday. I think they're one of those teams that they're very experienced. They played the same kids forever. Jackson could be a first-round NBA draft pick. She's played really well. She rebounds, she defends, scores. Their guard plays really good. So, I think it's a team that they're going to defend really well. They're going to really attack your defense off the bounce. And one thing that we struggle with is size. And when they have a 6'6" center, that's a big problem, literally and figuratively. So. It's an NCAA tournament team. It's a team that, is going to be a tough out. And certainly yesterday's win over Oklahoma State, I thought they played really well.
You mentioned size being a problem, and I'm going to ask you to go back because obviously when you brought Stephanie in to change everything, do you ever catch yourself wistfully thinking, what if, or did that end like within a couple days of the injury, just in terms of the game-changing things she had?
I wish I could say I've moved on, but I haven't. And really not for the sake of what you would think. I just, every time I see her, there's a part of me that just feels really bad for her. And obviously our team would be completely different. But that happens. Every team, there's very few teams that go through a season, without dealing with injury. But I think for me, it's more about her and the disappointment of what could have been for her when you only have one shot at it. That's the other thing that's so – not that any injury is a good thing. I don't mean that. But Danae got hurt last year. She got to come back and play this year. And, she only had one shot at it, and she got to play 12 games. So we'll celebrate those 12 and – fix her up, and hopefully there's a lot of basketball. And the good thing, though, is there's a lot of basketball in her future. So probably not a whole lot at Iowa State, but she'll still be part of what we're about. Thank you, guys.